My beloved child, from age to age I have never ceased speaking to you. Through words of guidance, through events, through the people I have placed along your path, I have always left behind the imprint of wisdom and love. Every word, every experience, every reminder is like a seed sown deep within your heart. Some seeds sprout quickly, others lie still for a long time before blossoming, yet all are arranged to nourish your soul. And today, through this message, I call you once more to listen, for these words are not merely sounds, but life itself, reaching into the very depths of your spirit. My child, I see the days when your heart surges like a stormy sea, when waves crash so fiercely that you fear you will drown. At times you are strong like the tempest, at other times fragile, as still waters beneath the moonlight. I witness each silent tear that falls from your eyes, even when those around you believe you are steadfast, unmoved by the storm. I see the moments when you smile outwardly while your soul feels heavy, when your silence is filled with cries no one else can hear. Do you know, in every uneven heartbeat I have never left you. It is I who embrace the chaos within you and transform it into a song of peace. It is I who touch the cracks of your soul and turn them into places where light can enter. And it is I who long for you to understand this: feeling weak does not mean you have failed. Weakness is simply the place where you learn to lean on me, to discover that true strength does not come from your ability to control everything, but from surrendering into my hands. My child, you need not be ashamed of your tears, for every drop is kept by me as a precious jewel in a vessel of gold. Do not fear the days when your heart trembles, for within those very tremors I reveal my power to sustain you. Do not think that I seek a heart unshaken, unbending. Rather, I love a heart that returns, that yearns, that seeks me in both sorrow and joy. Remember this: what you face today is not meant to destroy, but to refine. The fierce waves do not come to drown, but to teach you to dive deeper into grace. The strong winds are not to topple, but to help you learn to stand firm upon the solid rock. And the turmoil within your soul is not to leave you lost, but to draw you back to the only compass, the light of my word. There may be days when you feel that no one understands you, that no one truly sees the pain you carry. But know this: I see it all, I hear it all, and I feel it all. Not a single sigh of yours falls into empty nothingness. Not a single restless night passes without me beside you. You are not alone, even when every emotion screams that you have been abandoned. It is in the very moments when you feel most lonely that I draw nearest to you, for I am the one who knows what you need even before you can speak it. My beloved child, let your heart learn the way of peace in the midst of storms. That peace does not come because the storm ceases, but because you know I am in the boat with you. Just as long ago I spoke a word and the sea grew still, so today I can calm the raging storm within you. Entrust to me every feeling, every trembling, every hidden wound. I do not only desire your joy and triumphs, but also your brokenness and weakness. Lift up your head, for it is in the very moment you think yourself weak that I am making you strong. It is when you believe yourself empty that I am filling you, and it is when you feel most lost that I am leading you home. You do not need to pretend to be strong before me. You need only to be real, for I am your Father, and I love you not because you are flawless, but because you belong to me. So, my child, do not fear the days when emotions surge within you. Do not reject the stirrings of your inner being. Let me transform them into a journey of growth. Let me turn your tears into seeds of joy. Let me turn your long nights into mornings flooded with hope. For I am the one who transforms, and I have promised weeping may remain for a night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. Psalm 3:05. My beloved, I have witnessed the most hidden moments when your heart felt as though it might shatter into 100 pieces, when you were so weary you no longer had the strength to pour yourself out to anyone, and even your tears became too heavy to fall. I have seen the loneliness that surrounds you, even when laughter, bright lights, and familiar faces fill the room. You may be able to hide from everyone else, but you cannot hide from me. In the trembling of your heart, in the prayers too fragile to form words, in the whispers of hope that seem barely alive, I am there listening to every trembling beat. Not a single whisper of yours is ever wasted, for I am the one who hears the cries of the soul from the deepest depths. My child, I have guarded you through dangers you never even knew existed. Time and again the enemy sought to sow despair in you to extinguish the flame within you. Yet I stayed their hand before they could destroy your soul. And even the wounds I permitted to touch you, the invisible blades that made your soul bleed, I never allowed them to consume you. You may have thought you were abandoned in your pain, but the truth is that I've been shaping you through those very wounds, refining you like gold in fire, drawing you closer to me than ever before. Do not despise the scars, for they are the proof that you survived. Not only survived, but are being transformed into someone stronger. My child, look back on the path you have walked. There were days when it seemed the darkness had won, yet here you are, still breathing, still believing. This was not by your own strength, but because my hand sustained you. The storms came as though to sweep everything away, yet I, myself, stood as a fortress, as arms encircling you, so you would not be crushed. In the times you thought you had lost everything, I left within you a small flame, just enough to keep you from collapsing completely. From that tiny flame I will kindle a new strength, turning what seemed like ashes into a light that illuminates the road ahead. My beloved, I do not waste any pain in your life. Every tear, every fall, every hidden wound all become material in my hands, shaping who you are today. Just as a grain of wheat must fall and be broken to bear fruit, so your soul must be formed through trials to bring forth life. I know you do not like the long nights of loneliness, the wounds that are slow to heal, but it is in those very moments that you learn to lean wholly on me, to trust when no way is visible, to love, even while still hurting. That is a lesson no school on earth can teach. Only through walking with me in hardship can it be learned. My child, open your eyes to see what I am doing. Do not focus only on the wound and miss the miracle being formed from the very brokenness. Do not look only at what you have lost, but see my hand planting a new harvest in you. Each time you think you are being pushed away, in truth, I am drawing you closer. Each time you feel empty, I am clearing space to fill you with something greater. Each time you see yourself as small and weak, I am preparing you to become a powerful instrument in my plan. You may not understand now, but one day when you look back, you will see that every wound had a purpose, every pain carried value, and every tear planted the seed of joy to come. As I have spoken, you turned my mourning into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy. Psalm 30:11. You will see that I never abandoned you, never left you to drown in the darkness, but always turned night into dawn, deserts into flowing springs, and pain into a song of thanksgiving. So then, my child, hold fast to me. When you have nothing else left to cling to, grasp tightly onto my word. When you no longer have the strength to stand, sit at my feet and let me lift you up. When you do not know how to pray, let your sighs become your prayers, for my spirit understands even the unspoken cries of your heart. And when you feel as though you are falling apart, remember that every fragment is resting in the hands of a powerful Father, the one who can weave them into a picture more beautiful than you could ever dream. My beloved child, I call you today not to see pain as your enemy, but to regard it as a teacher. Do not let your wounds harden your heart. Let them instead open it wider to receive grace. Do not let loneliness drive you into fear. Let it draw you nearer to my heart. For in all things I am still at work to transform, to shape, to lead you to the place where you truly belong. You are never abandoned, never forgotten. I called you by name before the foundation of the world, and that call still echoes today. You are mine, and no power can ever snatch you out of my hand. My precious one, I know the questions that often rise in your heart as you walk through days that feel heavier than your strength can bear. You wonder why you must face so many storms, why it seems as though you are placed in harsher circumstances than others, while some around you appear to live lives of ease untouched by turmoil. I know how at times this weighs your spirit down, how it feels unfair, and how it even makes you question your own worth. But child, what your eyes see is only a tiny fragment of the vast masterpiece I have designed for your life. You glimpse only a short stretch of the road, while I see the beginning and the end, every winding turn and every summit that awaits you ahead. I want you to understand this: nothing I allow in your life is ever without meaning. Seasons of suffering, layers of trial, long stretches of solitude all carry a sacred purpose. Think for a moment, could perseverance, compassion, and steadfast faith be formed if life were always easy and smooth? It is adversity that has carved deeper places within you, teaching you what mercy truly is, what patience truly requires, what real strength that comes from me truly means. What you carry is not punishment but training, preparing your soul to be resilient, tender, and able to walk in empathy toward the pain of others. My child, when I allow storms to sweep into your life, I myself am the one who keeps you standing firm amid the raging waves. You think you are carrying the weight alone, but in truth it is my shoulders that bear the heaviest part. You feel as though your heart has been shattered, yet it is through those very cracks that my light shines forth to guide others along their way. Every tear of yours never falls meaninglessly to the ground. They become seeds sown into your life for growth and into the lives of those who witness you, bringing them hope that it is possible to endure, to overcome, and to stand firm through my grace. You may look around and see others living in peace, not facing many hardships, but you do not know what battles they fight within, or how I am shaping them in a different way. What I want you to remember is this: do not compare your journey with anyone else's, for the path I have chosen for you is unique. The trials you carry are precisely what mold you into the person I am forming you to be, so that you may become a witness, a comfort, and a light to those who are lost. My beloved child, it is the darkness that teaches you to cherish the light. It is through loneliness that you come to know the worth of true love. It is in weakness that you discover the fullness of my power. Just as the potter must press and shape the clay, just as gold must pass through fire to be refined, so too must your soul pass through trials to reveal the beauty and the true worth I have placed within you. You were not created for an easy life, but for a meaningful one to reflect my glory through the very challenges you overcome. My child, trust me in the things you do not yet understand. Where you see storms, I see the safe shore. Where you see collapse, I see the laying of a new foundation. Where you sense an ending, I know it is only the beginning of a more glorious chapter. Do not fear being lost, for my hand is holding you. Do not be afraid of falling, for I will lift you up. Do not think you are abandoned, for I never have, and I never will leave your side. My child, remember that I am the one who holds every moment in my hands. No season of your life is ever by chance, and not a single tear you shed is wasted. I use them all to teach you, to open your eyes, and to lead you to places you never dared to dream of. You will see after the stormy days have passed that you have become someone new, deeper, stronger, and filled with greater love. And it is this transformation that will make you a useful instrument in my hands, bringing comfort and hope to many weary souls. Lift up your head, my child, and keep walking. Do not fear the storm, for I am right there with you in the storm. Do not lose heart under the weight, for my shoulders are carrying the heaviest part. And do not lose faith when the path is not yet visible, for my light will guide each step you take. You are not merely enduring a difficult journey. You are being prepared for a great harvest, a harvest of joy, of peace, and of every good thing I have promised you. My beloved child, trust that everything you go through is being used to transform you. One day you will look back and smile, because you will realize that the storms never destroyed you. Instead, they drew you closer to me, made you more like my image, and gave you a soul strong enough to be a living witness of my love and grace in this world. And then you will understand fully, not one tear was in vain, not one trial was meaningless, and not a single storm could ever hinder the perfect plan I have set for your life. My dear child, I know there are moments when my silence makes your heart feel empty, as though all your prayers vanish into a void. I know you have whispered through tears, "Father, do you hear me? Are you truly there?" But my child, do not be mistaken. My silence has never meant my absence, nor has it ever been a sign that I do not care. On the contrary, in those very moments when you feel abandoned, I am quietly carrying out the deepest work within your soul. Like a seed lying quietly in the depths of the earth, no one can see the movement within it. Yet it is in that very darkness that life is being conceived. You are not buried to be forgotten, but planted so that you may rise again stronger than before. You may think the time drags on too long, that nothing is changing, that your prayers fall into emptiness. But my child, silence is the fertile soil where the roots of faith grow deep. Without stillness, the roots remain shallow, and even the lightest breeze would be enough to topple them. I let you pass through silence not as punishment, but so that the roots of your soul may sink deeply into the wellspring of everlasting life. My beloved, remember that silence is not my absence, but my preparation for something greater. When I am silent, I am arranging, shifting, building. Like a weaver patiently threading each strand to form a radiant tapestry, I too am weaving the story of your life. You only see the tangled underside, but I see the front, a perfect image crafted from the smallest details. At times, silence is my way of protecting you so that you do not run after things that would only wound you. At other times, silence is how I compel you to pause so that you may hear what the noise could never let you hear. O child, believe that silence is not an empty void, but an invitation for you to enter deeper communion with me. When the noise of life comes to rest, you can finally hear the beating of my heart, a heartbeat of love for you. It is in the quiet that you will find yourself no longer driven by the demands of the world, but instead you will begin to notice what once escaped you, a gentle peace, a flicker of hope, a presence that is tender yet unshakable. All these are my imprints upon your soul. Imagine a seed buried deep within the earth. It may think it has been abandoned, hidden away from the light. But the truth is, it is exactly where it needs to be, awaiting the moment when it will break through its shell and reach upward. So it is with you. Perhaps today you see no fruit, but never forget that I have placed within you an indestructible life, and that life will rise at the time I have appointed. No season of sowing lasts forever, and no waiting is ever wasted. My child, silence is the place where I teach you a precious lesson to trust, even when you cannot hear, to be patient, even when you cannot see, and to rest in my embrace, even when you feel lost. It is in these moments that your faith is refined, a faith no longer dependent on feelings or circumstances, but anchored in the certainty that I am faithful. This is the kind of faith that can withstand every storm, for it has been forged in silence, in waiting, and in those very moments when you chose to keep trusting without an answer. My beloved child, do not let silence cause your heart to grow weary. Instead, let it become the place where you discover new strength. Let it teach you to listen more than to speak, to wait, instead of rushing, to lift your eyes to me instead of seeking recognition from the world. And when you learn these things, you will see that silence is no longer something to fear, but a treasure, a sacred place where you encounter me more deeply. Remember this: a young tree cannot grow tall overnight, and a blazing fire cannot erupt without first smoldering in quiet persistence. So it is with your soul. It must pass through seasons of stillness in order to mature. I am never in haste, because the work I am doing in you is not temporary but eternal. One day you will understand that every pause has its purpose, every waiting bears fruit, and every moment that feels hopeless is in fact opening the way for a breakthrough. My beloved, I want you to engrave upon your heart an unshakable truth. My love for you does not depend on anything you can do or fail to do. It is not built on your successes or your failures. It does not waver between the days you feel full of faith and the days you are too weak to pray. My love is not swayed by your emotions, nor is it altered by how the world perceives you. It does not originate in your merits or your limited understanding, but flows from my very being, for I am love. And this love streams endlessly like an eternal river, pouring forth without ceasing to cover you. O child, my love is unconditional. Whether you stand upon the heights of honor or collapse in the depths of sin, my love is as constant as the sun that rises each morning, shining and warming regardless of the clouds. No matter how far you run, my love pursues you, tireless, relentless, unfailing. No mistake you make is too great to surpass my mercy, and no achievement of yours is so grand that it could make me love you more. My love cannot be added to, nor can it be diminished. It is whole, perfect, everlasting. My dear one, let this truth sink deep into your soul. Nothing you have done in the past can ever make me withdraw my love. No wrong decision, no stain, no failure can cause me to turn away. If you have ever thought that you have gone beyond the limits of grace, know this: my grace has no limits. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so is my love beyond your understanding. And as the sea has no shore, so my mercy has no end. You may turn away, you may stumble and fall, but my love still waits, arms wide open, ready to welcome you home. Do you know my love does not only hold you in the days of peace, but also embraces you in the midst of storms? When you think you have no worth, when you see yourself as useless and rejected, I still call you my treasure. When the world measures your value by achievement, status, or recognition, I define you by the very love I have for you. You are not your failures, not your past, not the labels others have placed upon you. You are my child, called by name, redeemed by blood, and held close as if you were my only one. My child, my love is not merely protective, it is transformative. It is not the kind of love that stands still watching you fall, but the love that lifts you up, heals you, and leads you on the path of life. When you allow this love to flood your soul, you will find yourself freed from the chains of sin, released from shame and fear. My love breaks chains, heals wounds, and fills the emptiness that no person or thing on earth could ever satisfy. It is a love that renews the soul, making you into a new creation, causing the old to pass away and everything to become new. Beloved, stop striving to prove yourself worthy of this love. You do not need to strain to be accepted, because you have been loved long before you could ever do anything. You are loved not because you are perfect, but because I chose to love you. And this love will never change, never fade. It is more enduring than mountains, stronger than the waves of the sea, and eternal, as I myself am. When you stumble, this love lifts you up. When you lose your way, this love lights your path. When you despair, this love whispers, "You are not alone." My child, my love is also the guarantee that you will never be abandoned. It is the shield when you are weak, the refuge when you are afraid, the comfort when you grieve. It is not merely a concept, not merely a promise, but a living power surrounding you every moment. This love has been proven by action when my only son gave his life for you. That is the everlasting proof that you are valuable, that you are loved beyond all comparison. Therefore, my child, learn to live in this love each day. Let it shape the way you see yourself, the way you see others, and the way you walk through life's journey. When you let my love be your foundation, you will no longer seek the world's approval, no longer fear rejection, and no longer tremble at failure. You will know that you are loved, and that is enough for you to live free, strong, and at peace. My beloved child, engrave this truth upon your heart. Nothing can separate you from my love, not hardship, not affliction, not death, not life, not any power, nor anything in the present or the future. My love is the eternal cord that binds you and me together, and no force can ever sever it. You need only trust, open your heart, and let that love lead you. My dear one, I know you still carry the heavy chains of shame, regret, and disappointment like cold iron links clattering each time you try to step forward. I hear the voice of your heart condemning itself. I see your eyes fall under the weight of memories you wish to forget, and I sense your unspoken fear that if you draw near to me with all that chaos, you will be turned away. But my child, I have entered that very dark chamber where your soul was imprisoned. I lit the lamp, I opened the barred door, I shattered the chains you thought would bind you forever. I touched the wounds you believed would never close. I poured oil and wrapped them in bandages. I gathered every fragment you tried to hide beneath the rug, and I promise you I will turn ashes into radiant beauty. So do not wait until you have fixed yourself before coming. Do not build false conditions thinking you must be holy enough, stable enough, calm enough before you can step into my presence. You have never needed perfection to be embraced in my arms. What I seek is not a flawless exterior, but a sincere heart. Bring me the cracked places, the rough edges, the burning anger you fear. Others will judge, even the doubts you dare not voice, the layers of bitterness that crust over your heart like salt deposits. Lay them all upon my hands, for I am great enough to bear them, patient enough to listen, powerful enough to transform. You may gasp for breath in broken prayer. You may utter only a few simple words. You may remain silent. As tears fall, I still understand. For before your pain could even speak its name, I already knew its source and the way it would be healed. You have tried to undo the shackles yourself, but the more you struggled, the tighter they became. That is because you used guilt to reform your soul, yet guilt never redeems, it only binds tighter. Only love sets free. And I, the one who loved you first, am unlocking each clasp with mercy. Do not cling to the mask of "I'm fine" any longer, for the mask suffocates you while truth lets you breathe deeply in peace. I am not shocked by the stories you hide, nor am I surprised. I have seen your entire journey, the detours you wandered into, the rash decisions, the times you lost yourself, and still, I remain here unchanging. You said I will return when I am more worthy. But my child, worthiness is not the condition for drawing near to me. It is the gift I place upon you as you come close. Just as water first washes before it makes fragrance, so you may come with the mud still clinging to your feet, and I will wash you. Let me lead you out of the musty room of self-condemnation and bring you into the fresh air of grace, where no one holds a stone, where you relearn the language of kindness, and where you know how to call yourself by your true name. Beloved, you say, but I am still angry, still confused, still full of burdens. I say, bring them to me. For anger placed in my hands becomes the courage of prayer. Confusion placed in my hands becomes the light that guides. Bitterness placed in my hands dissolves like salt in the rain. I am the potter. I do not throw away a broken vessel. I gather it, wash it, knead it, add water, add fire, give it time, and even the old cracks become beautiful new lines. I am the blacksmith. I place the iron into the furnace until it glows red. Then I strike it in steady rhythm, each blow a beat of hope, shaping the dull blade into a sharp edge, reshaping the weary soul to its true purpose. I am the gardener. I do not cut down the tree simply because this season bears no fruit. I till the soil, nourish it, wait patiently until the roots reach deep and the young leaves unfurl, and in due time flowers will blossom as if winter had never pressed them down. Do not fear your past. The past has no power to control you if you place it in my hands. I close the old door and open a new one. Yet I also take the planks from the old door and build a strong table for your future, a place where you and I will sit together, speaking honestly, learning to name things as they truly are without trembling. I know there are moments when you even doubt me, yet I do not turn away. Your doubt only means you long to be understood, and I am willing to explain in ways you can grasp, a friend arriving at just the right time, a verse repeated again and again, a tender coincidence that startles you into seeing that I have been quietly arranging things all along. From today, practice stepping into the light instead of hiding. Tell me what you truly think. Instead of curling up in shame, open your hands to receive forgiveness. Instead of lashing yourself with the whip of judgment, let me tie your shoelaces and lift you to your feet. Let me be the one to define who you are. Not the record of your failures, not the gaze of others, not the tired old voice in your head, but the fresh call each morning: you belong to me. And when you begin to believe this, the chains will fall, not with the clamor of performance, but with the quiet wonder of a miracle unfolding inside. The heart softens, the sigh turns into thanksgiving, the eyes learn to see yourself as I see. You, the weary feet, regain their rhythm. You will discover the wonder that the very place where you once broke will become the doorway to compassion for others. The very story you once hid in shame will become the key that unlocks the shackles of trembling souls. The very ashes will give rise to a garden of flowers. For I have promised to exchange garments of mourning for robes of joy, and I keep my word. Let me continue this work today, not tomorrow, not when you feel better, but right now while your heartbeat is still unsettled. You only need to say, "I am here." The rest I will take care of, for the work I have begun will be brought to completion. You do not need to lift yourself up, I will lift you. You do not need to mend yourself, I will heal. You do not need to carry everything alone, I will share the weight. And as you remain steadfast in my love, you will begin to see what I have seen from the very beginning, a soul no longer bound by shame, a heart made pure, able to love and to be loved, a life unhurried, yet unshakable, moving steadily in the pardon. Calling of grace. Each step will be light, yet sure, each day fresh and bright. For wherever I am, there is always the chance to begin again, and every new beginning is more beautiful than the last. My beloved, I hear your sighs when you look back at what is unfinished and broken, when you think the wheel of your life has derailed beyond return, when you count the opportunities fallen like dry leaves, the dreams that seem to have gone out in the darkness. But hear this unchanging truth in my hands: nothing is wasted. No path is meaningless, no scar is dismissed as a flaw. For I am the one who gathers and weaves again, who can take the fragile fragments of yesterday and fashion them into today's radiant tapestry. Yes, you have wandered far, but never beyond my reach. Yes, you have lost much, but what you thought was lost has become the very space where grace overflows. Yes, you have squandered, but in the place where you bow your head in acknowledgement, I open the treasure store of restoration. I do not rewrite your story with the ink of regret. I write it forward with the ink of hope, and every new page bears the seal of mercy. You say you are off course, I say I am the way. You say you are lost from the flock, I say I am the shepherd. You say you are exhausted, I say I am your strength. Believe this with me: mourning can turn to dancing, ashes can bloom, valleys can rise into high ground from which you can see the way ahead. No one looks at you with the fullness and tenderness with which I do. I do not label you by your failures, I read you by the potential I placed within you. Beneath the dust I see the gleam. Beneath the ashes, the seed of life. Beneath the sobs, a new song waiting to rise. You see someone broken beyond rescue. I see a work taking shape through the proving fire, a soul maturing in the hands of a wise craftsman. And that very fire, when I am the one tending it, will not destroy but refine, will not consume but purify. Do not fear the years that seem stolen, for I repay the time that was swallowed up in ways you do not expect, with relationships restored with a peace deeper than every passing success, with the capacity to love those you once avoided with. A new calling that springs from the very place you were hurt. Let me set upon the rails of your life, not a shabby old rail car, but a train overhauled from within its engine. Faith, its gears; steadfastness, its fuel; an unfading love. The route may not look like the dream you first imagined, but the destination is worth more than you ever thought. Not merely obtaining what you want, but becoming who you were meant to become. I do not take you back to the starting line as if nothing happened. I bring you back to the original essence I sketched for you. And through the journey, that essence is cut deeper and shines brighter like gold through the fire, like clay through the kiln. Look back and see every sharp bend taught you to listen, every long ascent taught you to lean, every hour at a standstill taught you to discern. I do not erase those marks. I use them like beautiful veining on a new vessel, like the art of mending cracks with something precious, so that what once fractured becomes the place that reflects grace. Do not hurry to define yourself by what went wrong, for the story is still unfolding and I am the author. Place your hand in mine once more that I may reset your pace and tell you the next stretch. There are places where you must go to apologize and you will receive freedom. Places where you must let go and you will receive peace. Places where you must begin again in small ways, and you will receive endurance. Take small steps in the right direction, because direction matters more than speed. Do not let perfection delay obedience. Do not let fear postpone the beginning. Today, not tomorrow, you can do a small act that reflects a great faith. Send a word of thanks, open a new page, lift another person up, write a sincere prayer. These actions may seem small, but in my hands they are seeds for a harvest. When you are weary, I will be your shade. When you are dry, I will be your spring. When you hesitate, I will be the gentle whisper urging you onward. Keep going. And when you are lost, I will come to find you. Do not be troubled by comparisons with others, for your race is unique and your clock runs on. My timing never a minute too early, never a second too late. Do not torment yourself over wasted things, for I turn waste into lessons, lessons into wisdom, and wisdom into blessings for many. Do not call yourself unfinished. Call yourself one being shaped into the image of glory. And when your heart stirs again with doubt, remind your soul, I have done, I am doing, and I will continue to do. I brought you through nights no one knew, and I, myself, will lead you into mornings no one can take away. I once turned your mourning into dancing, and I am not weary of doing it again. Let the music of hope quietly rise in the very room, still carrying the smoke of trial, for when I am present, even ashes carry the scent of a garden about to bloom. You are not confined within a final full stop. You are living in the ellipsis of grace. So release your shoulders, take a deep breath, and say to me, I am ready to begin again. Your part is to return. My part is to renew. Your part is to obey. My part is to open the way. Your part is to trust. My part is to complete. And then, in the midst of a journey with its winding turns, you will suddenly see that you are no longer the same, no longer walking in haste, but in peace, no longer speaking in defense, but in kindness, no longer living to prove, but living to love. This is the miracle of restoration that I promised, not a miracle wrapped in thunderous applause, but in the steady rhythm of days strung together. You will see where once was mud will become a spring, where once was desert will blossom, and where once was a junkyard will become my workshop, where broken fragments are fashioned into instruments of purpose. Believe in me, cling to me, walk with me, for you are not merely being pulled back onto an old track. You are being placed upon a new path, one deeper, more radiant, and more beautiful, where you yourself, having passed through fire, will shine with the beauty of one who belongs to me. My beloved, do not let guilt continue to weigh upon your soul like a heavy stone tied to the feet of one who longs to swim across a river. It never brings you any good except to bow your head down, rob your breath, and strip away your strength to look upward. I have already paid the price for all your failures, your falls, your mistakes. That price was borne completely upon the cross through the blood of my innocent Son, when he declared, "It is finished." Your debt too was erased. Therefore do not hold on to guilt as though it were proof of sincerity, for true sincerity is not self-condemnation, but the faith to receive the forgiveness I have given. I have already prepared the way for your redemption, and you only need to walk upon it. You are not an outsider endlessly knocking at the door. You are the one invited to the banquet of grace where I have laid a place for you. What you thought was shame, what you believed, had stripped away your dignity. I can turn into testimony of my mercy and restoring power. I waste nothing, not even your past mistakes. In my hands, even darkness can become the backdrop for light to shine forth. The very cracks you are ashamed of are the places where my light can radiate the strongest. My child, I have never despised your human frailty. On the contrary, I chose to step into that very humanity clothing, myself, in fragile flesh, tasting thirst, weariness, loneliness, and even betrayal, so that you might know I understand you to the depths. I do not stand far off demanding perfection. I stoop low to walk with you in every thorny step. And because of this, you can trust that I did not come to criticize or condemn, but to save. That salvation is not for the vast world apart from you, it includes you. You are called by name, engraved upon my hands, and wrapped within this great love. O child, cease thinking that you are excluded. You are not the exception overlooked by grace. Every promise, every word of forgiveness, every act of salvation is for you. I have seen everything from the beginning until now, and still I choose to love. Still I choose to save. Do not imagine that I love only the better version of you. I have loved you in your brokenness, loved you even when you turned your back, loved you in the very moment you believed yourself unworthy of love. And it is precisely this love that has the power to draw you back, to cleanse you, and to transform you. You do not need to try to make yourself perfect before coming, for if you could save yourself, then there would be no need for me to come. Come as you are with all that is true, both what you hide and the shadows you fear. Place them in my hands, and you will see where once there was a stain, there will be a testimony. Where once there was a wound, there will become a doorway of hope for many. I do not waste a single tear, nor do I overlook even the faintest cry. All you need to do is surrender, and I will take care of the transformation. My child, remember, I did not come to sink you deeper into guilt, but to lift you up. I did not come to bind you with heavier burdens, but to break your chains. I did not come to shut the door, but to open my arms wide. And I did not come to condemn the world, but that through me the world might be saved, and you are part of that plan of salvation. Therefore, my beloved, step out of the shadows of guilt and into the light of forgiveness. Do not carry the heavy cloak of shame any longer. Instead, clothe yourself with the garment of joy, the spotless white robe of grace. Let your heart be free, let your spirit breathe, let your soul sing again. You no longer need to bow your head, for I have lifted it high. You no longer need to tremble before judgment, for the verdict has been removed. You no longer need to fear rejection, for you have been welcomed into my eternal family. My child, believe my words above the voice of guilt. Believe that I am stronger than sin, that the cross is greater than the past, that the resurrection shines brighter than every darkness. Let this truth sink deep. You are not defined by your mistakes, you are defined by love. You are not marked by failure, you are sealed by redeeming blood. And you are no longer imprisoned by guilt. You have been set free to live a new life. A life I give you: freedom, hope, and peace. This is the truth, and this is my word spoken to you today. You can let go of guilt, for I have borne it. You can rise, for I have lifted you. You can move forward, for I have made the way. And every step you take will no longer be bound by shame, but propelled by the joy of salvation. You are my child, and nothing can ever separate you from this everlasting love. My beloved child, I know that many times you have looked at your own life and concluded that I must behave like people do, that once you are weak, once you are lost, once you seem to have nothing of worth, then I would turn my face away and leave you behind. But my child, I am not like the people of this world. I am not the faces that once turned their backs on you, nor the hands that let go of you when you needed them most. I am the faithful one, and my nature does not change. Remember this: my covenant is not a fragile contract written with ink that fades on paper, but a promise engraved upon my very heart and sealed with the blood of my only Son. It is an everlasting covenant, untouched by time, unbroken by your failures, unshaken by your doubts. What I have spoken, I will uphold. What I have promised, I will accomplish. My word is yes and amen, never maybe or if only. When others walk out of your life, I remain. When people release their grip because you no longer meet their expectations, my hand still holds fast. When the world mocks, judges, and defines you by your mistakes, I call you by your true name, my child, the one I love. I do not abandon what is mine, for once you are in my hand, no one can snatch you away. You may doubt, you may grow angry. You may fall silent in disappointment, yet none of these will make me withdraw. I am not undone by the questions you cannot answer. I do not fear when you challenge me. I do not retreat when you say I do not believe. For I know the root of such cries: a wounded heart longing to be healed, a weary soul searching for safety. And so I have chosen to stay, even when you thought you had driven me away. My child, I am still here. Not merely as a silent witness, but as a patient father, a faithful friend, a shepherd who never tires of seeking the lost. You may run far, but I will follow. You may bar the door of your heart, but I will keep knocking. You may lose patience with yourself, but I have never lost patience with you. There are moments when you think, my silence is proof that I have turned away. But the truth is, in that stillness, I am doing the deepest work within your soul. Like a silversmith quietly tending the fire, I am refining you, so that the light within you may shine more brightly. Like a father sitting silently by his child's bed in the night of sickness, I remain there watching each breath, wiping away each drop of sweat. You do not see it yet. My presence has never been absent. My child, stop defining me through the lens of human nature. I do not love and then hate come and then leave hold and then let go as the world does. My love is not a passing emotion but an eternal essence. My faithfulness is not like the shifting tides of the human heart. It is not fragile like morning dew nor fading like autumn leaves. It is steadfast as the mountains, eternal as the seas, unshakable as my very being. You may ask, then why do I still feel so alone? It is because often you are too busy comparing me with those who have hurt you that you forget to look at me. You let the pain of the past paint a distorted image of who I am. But today I want you to strip away that false picture and look directly at the truth. I have never and will never abandon you. No matter what the world says, no matter what your heart feels, the truth remains: I stay. Even when you run away, I am still here. Even when you build walls, I find a way to open them. Even when you forget me, I still remember you. And even when you lose yourself, I still know exactly who you are. You cannot lose. My love for it does not come from your efforts, it flows from my faithfulness. Beloved child, let these words become your resting place. I am here. I have been here before you ever realized it. I am here now in your weakness, and I will be here until the very end. Not one promise of mine will fall to the ground in vain. Not one covenant of mine will ever be broken, and not one soul that belongs to me will be left abandoned in the dark. My dear one, I have waited patiently for the day your heart would open to see clearly what I have seen in you from the beginning. I do not see you through the lens of failure, nor do I judge you by the stains of your past. I see in you a light, a potential, a beauty that even you have never believed you carry. I have been waiting for you to grow still enough to hear my voice rising above the noise of fear, of rejection, of the harsh words from others, and even from within your own mind. You often think yourself too small, too flawed, but I see in you a precious soul crafted by my hands with a sacred and irreplaceable purpose. I have never ceased whispering to you in the seemingly most ordinary moments of life. In the cool breeze brushing against your cheek, I gently reminded you that I am still here. In the crimson sunset painting the sky, I etched the hope that a new day will come, that darkness never has the final word. In the bird song at dawn, I wove a melody of encouragement so that you would know life is still unfolding and that you are still being given a chance. I do not speak only through scripture, through sermons, but also through the smallest details of everyday life, each one a message of love meant for you. Do you remember how many times I sent you an unexpected kindness through a stranger, a smile, a word of concern, a timely encouragement? That was no accident. It was my way of reminding you that you are not invisible, not forgotten. How many times did I move a friend to lay a hand on your shoulder to embrace you when you thought you were about to collapse? That embrace was me borrowing human arms to hold you with my own love. Even in your pain, I have placed beauty before you, a flower blooming in barren soil, a shaft of sunlight piercing through the clouds after a storm, or a sudden unexplainable peace right in the midst of turmoil. All of it so you would know that darkness does not have the power to define your whole story. My child, I have never stopped pursuing your heart, not because I need you to make me complete, but because I know you are only truly whole when you are in me. My pursuit is tireless, not out of force, but out of a deep and undeniable love. Like the shepherd who leaves the 99 to seek the one lost sheep, I have searched for you across mountains, through valleys, even along the hidden paths you thought no one could find. No matter how far you run, my love still reaches you. No matter how thick the walls you build, my mercy still knocks. And even if you turn your back, I keep walking behind you, patiently waiting for the moment you glance back and see that I was never gone. Beloved one, how many times have you thought you were unworthy of this love, that your mistakes were too great for me to forgive? But I have told you already, my love does not rest on worthiness, but on my very nature, for I am love. You do not need to prove yourself. You do not need to strain to appear strong. You do not need to paint yourself better to be lovable. I love you in your tears, in your anger, in your confusion, in your wandering. That love is the force that keeps me calling your name, keeps me seeking you, keeps me weaving small reminders into your days so you will know that you belong to me. My child, learn to listen in the midst of those whispers. Do not seek me only in grand miracles or dramatic events. Learn to recognize me in the simplest of things, in a fresh morning, in a sincere conversation, in a quiet moment where your soul feels at peace. I am there. I am speaking to you. And when you learn to discern that presence, you will see that life is never without traces of me, beloved one. I have been patiently waiting for you to return, not to reproach you, but to embrace you in my wide open arms. I am not hurried yet. I am earnest. I do not force yet, I persist. Each day, I send a reminder, a sign, a comfort, hoping you will notice and respond. And even when you do not, I do not give up. My love endures every rejection, surpasses every distance, and is stronger than any wall. All you need is one moment to lift your eyes and say, "Here I am." And then you will see that I have been waiting for you all along, with eyes not of reproach but overflowing with love. I have pursued, I am pursuing, and I will forever pursue your heart until it beats again in rhythm with mine, the rhythm of unchanging love, the eternal heartbeat of life. My precious child, I know how often the question is echoed in your heart, what is the purpose of my life? Do I truly exist to do something meaningful, or am I only wandering lost among the countless crossroads of this world? I hear that uncertainty. I see the quiet struggle in your mind as you search for a reason to rise each morning. But my child, let me speak plainly, and with conviction, your life has a purpose. And that purpose is neither a vague idea nor a fragile hope, but a part of the sacred plan I set in motion even before you were formed in your mother's womb. You often think that only great deeds, dazzling achievements, and moments that impress others hold true value. Yet in my eyes, even the smallest things you do with a heart of love carry eternal weight. When you choose to speak a kind word instead of keeping a cold silence, when you restrain your anger to make room for forgiveness, when you patiently lift up someone who has fallen, those seemingly insignificant acts are etched forever in eternity. Not a single drop of love falls to the ground in vain. Not a single ray of hope is ever forgotten. Remember this, every time you choose to forgive, even while your heart still aches, you are reflecting my very nature. Every time you rise again in the midst of failure and decide to keep walking, you are journeying with me in perseverance. Every time you hold on to faith in the darkness, you are lighting a lamp that all of heaven can see. What you consider weak and insignificant, I see as a precious jewel in my kingdom. My child, you are part of a story far greater than what your eyes can perceive right now. You see only scattered fragments, overlapping details, and at times they make you think your life has no clear shape at all. But I am the one weaving the tapestry of history. I see the complete picture that you cannot yet see. I am joining together every thread of your life, the radiant strands and the somber shadowed ones alike, to create a masterpiece filled with purpose and meaning. What once threatened to destroy you, I will turn into part of the building process. The pain you thought would bury you, I will transform into a foundation of strength. The failure you believed was the final end, I will turn into a semicolon to write a new chapter. Even your bitterest tears I will pour upon the field of hope, so that one day you will reap joy. So my beloved, trust in me, not only because of words of promise, but because of action fulfilled. I gave my only son to redeem you. Would I not also give you a life of true purpose? I paid the highest price to claim you as my own. How then could your life ever be meaningless? No, my child. Every breath you take carries within it the imprint of my intention. Every step you make, even if astray, I can realign to guide you back to the right path. And every day you live is a new chapter in the story I am writing together with you. Do not compare yourself with anyone else, for the plan I have for you is one of a kind. Others may walk a different path, but that does not make your journey any less significant. You do not need to strive to become someone else, because in this world only you can reveal a unique aspect of me. You were created to be yourself, with your gifts, your experiences, your wounds, and your victories all woven together to serve the higher purpose I have destined for you. My child, be patient. Perhaps today you cannot yet see the full picture, but do not rush to conclude that it is meaningless. Like a seed hidden in the soil, no one sees how it stirs within, yet spring will prove that it carries life. Like the weaver at his loom, you may only see the tangled underside, but I am looking at the front, a masterpiece. And like the sun, though dark clouds may obscure it, you can still believe that the light is present, waiting for the right moment to shine forth again. Therefore, beloved one, put your trust in me. Do not measure the worth of your life by numbers, by the eyes of people, or by fleeting success. See it through my eyes, eyes that behold eternal potential in even the smallest things. And remember, not a single detail of your life is wasted. No season is ever lost. I am weaving them all together, and the final outcome will be good not only for you but also for many others. Walk on with the confidence that your purpose is real. Do not fear losing your way, for I am the way. Do not fear meaninglessness, for I am the meaning. Do not fear being forgotten, for I am the one who remembers all things. And one day when you look back, you will clearly see that every moment, every choice, every step, whether small or hidden, has contributed to a wondrous story, the story I have written for you since eternity. My beloved child, I have seen the walls you have built around your heart. They are not invisible to me, for I know exactly where each brick was laid, born from betrayal, from harsh words etched deep into your soul, from the disappointments of broken trust, and from the times you collapsed in loneliness. I understand why you chose to shield yourself, for your heart has been wounded too many times. But my child, you do not need to defend yourself against me. I am not like the world. My intentions for you have never been to harm, never to oppress, never to make you tremble in fear. My intentions have always been peace, a future, and a hope. My child, you have grown so used to holding on tightly, to restraining yourself, to proving your strength, so that no one would look down on you. But before me, you no longer need to put on such a front. You can breathe a sigh of relief and release all that you have been hiding. Give me the tears you dared not cry aloud. Hand over to me the dreams you believed had already been shattered. Let me embrace even the wounds that have not yet healed, which you have tried to conceal behind your smile. I am not unfamiliar with these things. On the contrary, I am the one waiting to receive them, to heal and to transform. My beloved child, you may let go now. It is time to lower the shield. It is time to let your tears flow without shame. Tears are not a mark of weakness, but the language of the soul when it can no longer find words to express itself. And I promise you, not a single tear will be meaningless. I will catch them all. I will treasure them as something precious. I will use them to water the dry ground of your life, from which will spring forth the blossoms of comfort and new joy. My child, I am your safe refuge. When storms roar, when waves threaten, when darkness covers everything you can run into, my arms without fear of being turned away. I will never grow weary of your returning to me. I will never judge you for being too fragile. On the contrary, it is in those very moments when you choose to hide yourself in me that your heart truly finds rest. For I am the steadfast fortress, the unshakable rock, the protecting arms that surround you. My child, learn to believe that safety does not come from the brick walls you build, but from my outstretched arms. The walls you construct only keep you trapped in loneliness. They prevent others from stepping in, but they also block love from flowing out. They close you off, making you think you are protected, while in truth you are imprisoned. But when you dare to lay those walls down before me, then you will know what true freedom is. The freedom from fear, from shame, from the heavy burden of always having to prove yourself. You can entrust your whole heart to me, the broken pieces, the scars, the empty places that have never been filled. You can offer me your unfulfilled dreams, your unfinished plans, and even the prayers that seem unanswered. I will not break them, I will not despise them, I will not overlook them. On the contrary, I will cherish them, I will heal them, and I will breathe into them new life. Believe that I know you more deeply than anyone else ever could. I know every heartbeat, every thought, every tear you shed. I know how desperately you long to be loved, how greatly you need to be comforted, and I alone am the one place that will never fail you. People may promise and forget, they may stay and then leave, But I am the one who keeps my word. I have spoken that I will never forsake you, never abandon you, and my words are not empty. I remain here steadfast, unwavering, and faithful. My child, step out from the hiding place of fear and find safety in me. Allow yourself to be weak so that I may be your strength. Allow yourself to weep so that I may wipe away your tears. Allow yourself to let go so that I may embrace you fully. You do not have to keep fighting alone, for I never intended you to walk in solitude. You need only open your heart, and I will do the rest. When you tremble and let down your guard, you will feel my love rush in like refreshing waters, washing away the dryness within. When you bare your heart before me, you will see that nothing in you repels me. Instead, I love you all the more. When you allow me to be your refuge, you will realize that peace is not something you must strive to earn, but a gift I freely give even in the midst of the storm. My beloved, I know that deep within you have always thought you must stay strong at all times, that if you ever allowed yourself to be weak, you would be despised, left behind, or deemed unworthy of love and trust. I see you straining to stand firm when the storms crash down, forcing back your tears to prove you are resilient enough. But, oh child, even strength has its limits. Even the wings of an eagle must rest after long flights. I have never called you to carry everything on your own. On the contrary, I have declared, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." I did not create you to be a lone warrior, but a cherished child in the Father's arms, to be nurtured, protected, and renewed by me. I do not require you to prove that you are strong enough, but I invite you to acknowledge that you need me. For it is in your weakness that you will discover true strength, not a strength born of your trembling hands, but of my mighty arms that hold you fast. My child, you do not need to labor or strive to find my presence. You do not have to cross 1,000 miles nor pay any price to draw near to me, for my presence is freely given like a stream of cool water gushing forth from a barren rock. You need only open your heart, only sit down, only whisper, "I need you," and instantly I am there right beside you, listening and renewing your strength. I have never grown weary of you. You may lament 100 times, yet I patiently listen. You may ask the same question again and again, yet I respond with love. You may come to me in moments that seem trivial, a sudden fear, an anxious thought, a hidden tear that no one else notices, and I receive them as treasures. My heart is never burdened by your cry. On the contrary, it rejoices that you have chosen to turn to me instead of relying on your own strength. My child, I delight in being your strength. I am not troubled when you depend on me. I rejoice when you rest your head upon my shoulder. I do not reproach you when you are insufficient. I only want you to know that your not enough is the very place where I reveal my all-sufficiency. I take joy in being near you, not when you are perfect, not when you appear strong, but even when you are frail, trembling, and confused. I do not look for stability in you in order to love you. I loved you long before you had anything to boast of. You think that when you are weak, I will be disappointed. But my child, I have never placed upon your shoulders the burden of mastering everything on your own. When you tremble, it only gives me the chance to prove that I am your firm foundation. When you are exhausted, it allows me to show that life does not flow from effort, but from me. You do not need to be a lamp that burns endlessly, for I myself am the light shining through you. My child, dare to be weak before me. Dare to lay down the burdens that weigh heavy upon your back. Dare to sit in my presence, that your breath may be stilled, that your heart may find rest. You do not need to strive to become worthy of love, for this love has existed long before you ever knew it. You do not need to struggle to hold on to me, for I never leave. You do not need to hide the truth of your pain, for I long to heal the deepest wounds. Let me be your strength as wings that lift you above the storm, as a spring that quenches your thirst, as a fortress shielding you from the fierce wind. Let me be the river of life flowing ceaselessly, refreshing your soul. Let me be your safe refuge, where you do not need to pretend, do not need to prove yourself, do not need to strain, where you can simply be who you are and still be wholly loved. My beloved child, do not be afraid to admit that you are weak. Do not see rest as failure. Do not think that leaning on me is a burden to me. It is in the very moment that you rely on me that my heart rejoices. It is in the very moment that you allow me to carry the weight that you discover what true freedom island. It is in the very moment you surrender yourself into my arms that you feel truly protected. And it is then that you will realize that real strength is not found in standing alone, but in knowing how to rest within my love. My child, you never have to walk alone. You never have to fight without me. You never have to strive until exhaustion, only to collapse in the shadows. For I, the source of life, of strength, and of hope, am still here, still ready, still rejoicing when you come. So come, let go, rest. And then you will see new strength rise within you, new peace filling you, and new joy overflowing, all from me, the one who has chosen to be near you and to love you forever. My beloved child, do not bind your soul to an old file marked the past. What has happened is nothing more than pages once turned, not a final verdict. Do not let the memory of mistakes write over your name on the cover of your life. Do not let the hasty judgments of others become the only mirror you face each morning. I call you to step out of the narrow frame the world tries to force upon your shoulders, for you were not born to fit their mold. You were created to reflect my image, unique, distinct, and full of purpose. When you see yourself through my eyes, you will not see a record of failure, but a child who has been called, chosen, redeemed, and set free. You are not your scars. Scars are only the testimony that wounds have passed, that your body and soul know how to heal. You are not the secrets you once held tightly in the dark. The darkness has power only when you stay silent, but when you bring them into the light, they lose their grip. You are not the defeats of yesterday. Failure is only a stern teacher, not a jailer binding you in chains. I did not sign your name beneath the words discarded. I engraved your name on the palms of my hands. When I declare you belong to me, no noise from this world can drown out that truth. My child, I know the temptation to hold up the mirror of others to measure your worth. But that mirror is distorted, reflecting a jumble of expectations and prejudice. When you stand before me, you stand before the light of truth. Here the labels of past mistake and unworthy fall away on their own. Here I call you by your true name, beloved, forgiven, sent. You do not need to prove yourself to be kept. You are already kept because I am the faithful keeper. You do not need to pretend to be strong in order to be worthy. You are already worthy because I have placed my very own value upon you. Do not let shame hold the pen to write the next chapter. Shame makes your hands tremble, your heart shrink, and your eyes dim. It teaches you to hide in the corner, afraid of light, of people, and even of yourself. But my grace is new ink, smooth, steady, and able to erase the smudged lines of regret. When you place the pen in my hand, I write anew sentences that begin with mercy, continue with truth, and end with hope. I do not deny what is past. I redeem it. I take the gray tones of the past and turn them into the canvas for the vibrant colors of the present and the future. I transform embarrassment into a language of compassion, mistakes into wisdom, and stumbles into a gentle voice that lifts others up. My child, the world will always try to define you by shifting measures, achievements, public opinion, speed, and trends. But the kingdom has a different set of scales, a heart that loves, that believes, that returns. When you choose forgiveness over retaliation, you are walking in the right direction of the kingdom. When you hold on to hope in the dark, you are marking coordinates on the eternal map. When you pause to listen to my voice softer than all the noise, you are setting your feet on an unshakable rock. This is how I train you not to become the version that many prefer, but the version I designed. Beloved child, learn the art of changing the lens. Each time old memories crash over you like a cold wave, turn the lens toward me. Look through it, and you will see milestones of grace, the time you thought you would sink but floated instead. The time you thought the road ended but another door opened. The time you thought you were alone but realized I was still sitting beside you. Look through it, and you will see the horizon of a story not confined to its lowest point. You will see my hand that held you is holding you, and will keep holding you until you stand upright in your new identity, chosen, loved, redeemed, and free. Do not return to the old measures. Do not allow the accusing voices in your mind to replace my verdict. When the old voice hisses, you are only answer. With my words, you are mine. When the old image resurfaces saying you once, place it beside the new image, I am making all things new. When the old feeling tightens its grip, you are unworthy. Open your hands to receive the robe of grace. I have justified you. This is not self-hypnosis. It is living in truth. Truth liberates not with noise, not with display, but with the persistence of dawn rising little by little each day until the light fills the entire room. You do not need to break your own chains. Such work requires heavenly strength, and I have already done it. What you need is to walk as one who has been set free with your back straight, shoulders open, and steps light. You do not need to hide your scars. Let them tell the story of the healing hand. You do not need to fear secrets. Let my light enter and speak on your behalf. Their power is gone. You do not need to fear failure. Turn it into a map circling the places to avoid repeating, marking the places I have led you through. Each mark of ink is a witness grace has won. My child, belonging to me means being anchored. The winds may rise, but the anchor holds. The current may rush, but the anchor clings fast. The crowd may roar, renaming you as they please, but in the heavenly ledger your name is never erased. Nothing can snatch you from. My hand is not a fleeting comfort. It is a declaration of eternal protection. When you are weary, remember that hand, the hand both gentle and mighty, the hand marked with nails that show love paid its price, the hand that steadies your every step. So today, change the way you introduce yourself within your own heart. Do not say, I am the one who used to. Say instead, I am the one being transformed by God. Do not say, I am only. Say, I am sent to. Do not say, I am afraid. Say, I believe. New language will open the way to a new life. New truth will shape new habits, and new habits will lead you onto a new path where you walk not under the shadow of shame, but in the shade of grace. I stand here with you at the crossroads of memory and hope. I place my hand upon your shoulder and say, you are not the past, you are my answer for the present. You are not the scar, you are the illustration of healing. You are not the secret, you are the true story told in light. You are not the failure, you are the proof that love does not fail. Walk with me. Ahead lies a wide sky for wings now unburdened. Ahead are open doors for those who know to whom they belong. And on every road etch this truth into your breath, you are mine forever. Beloved, lift up your eyes and listen closely, for I want to engrave in your soul a truth that cannot be shaken. There is real healing for you. Not merely a temporary comfort to soothe the wound, but a restoration that reaches the very roots of your soul to places you once thought could never recover. What has been broken, I can mend. What has been ruined, I can restore. What has been stolen, I can return, and more in abundance. I do not only wipe away your tears, I turn them into seeds for a new harvest. There is restoration for the years that seem to have passed in vain, for the days when you felt as though you walked in weariness, yet reaped nothing. I have seen your regret, your questions rising. Was it all for nothing? But remember, I am the Lord of restoration. I can return the lost years just as rain pours over barren fields, causing cracked soil to spring forth with green shoots again. I can take what you thought was wasted wilderness and transform it into a blooming garden. I do not merely compensate, but I bring abundance so that you may know my hand has never ceased to move. My child, deep within your soul, a new song is waiting to rise. It is not the dirge of yesterday, but the anthem of victory, the song of life, the melody of hope. That song may still tremble, shyly quiver faintly, or choke through tears, but one day it will break forth in fullness, resounding in harmony with the chorus of heaven. You thought your song had been silenced by failure, but I have placed within you a melody that no one can steal. When I touch you, that song will burst out, not from your lips alone, but from a soul that has been healed. There is still beauty born out of ashes. You have looked back at what was burned away in your life and believed that only dust remained. But I am the one who causes flowers to bloom upon the ashes, who weaves beauty out of what you thought was lost. What the world calls ruin, I call raw material. What you call an ending, I call a beginning. Like a masterful artist, I take what seems to be dull shades of gray and paint from them a picture of depth, making it more vibrant and precious than before. You have not yet seen the ending of your story. What you are living through is only a chapter, not the whole book. There are passages soaked in tears, but they are not the final page. There are twists that appear hopeless, but they are only leading to a climax. I am the author, and I never write an unfinished story. When I hold the pen, every story finds its conclusion in goodness. You may worry, you may fear that you are walking toward defeat, but I assure you the final chapter is not loss. It is victory, for I, the beginning and the end, have never allowed darkness to have the last word. I do not abandon the work of my hands. When I begin, I am also the one who completes. When I plant a seed, I am the one who brings it to growth. You are the masterpiece I am sculpting, and I never leave my creation unfinished. I am not a careless potter who spoils the clay and casts it aside. On the contrary, I shape, refine, and patiently labor until a vessel of beauty is made complete. You may see only fragments, but I see within them the form of a work nearing perfection. My child, believe in me once more. When you see yourself broken, I am building you up. When you feel lost, I am making a way. When everything around you seems in ruins, I am planting new seeds deep within the soil. I have never abandoned the work of my hands, and you are that most precious work. Lift up your head, my child. Do not stare into the ashes in mourning, but look to my hands at work. Do not merely count your losses, but behold the hope I am sowing. Do not fear the ending, for your ending is written by the faithful one. And when you look back, you will see all that seemed to crumble was truly opening into a new path, a path leading to the glory I prepared for you from the very beginning. Beloved one, lift your head high, and do not let your eyes remain fixed upon the ground where only the ashes of the past lie. Let hope sprout again in your heart like a tender shoot breaking through hardened soil, stretching toward the light. Let joy be awakened once more in your soul, not the fleeting joy of earthly things, but the deep and lasting joy born from my presence. Do not suppress that joy because you think you are not perfect enough or not qualified, for I, myself, am the fountain from which endless joy flows within you. Allow me to walk with you in every moment, not only in times of celebration when life feels easy, but also in the ordinary days, in weary mornings, and in sleepless nights. I do not choose to be with you only when you walk in the sunshine. I walk beside you even through the thickest darkness. I am not present only at the height of victory, but also in the valleys of defeat. My child, I want you to know there is not a single moment in your life when I turn my back on you. Each day I long to remind you of an unchanging truth, who you are and to whom you belong. The world will try to paint you, to label you, to define you by your past, by your mistakes, by your successes, or by your failures. But only I have the authority to define you, and I call you beloved, chosen, redeemed. When you forget your true worth, come near to me and hear my voice again. I will speak until your heart believes, and until you live fully in that truth. My child, you do not need to know every answer in order to trust me. Faith is not about having enough evidence, but about daring to take a step into the unknown, knowing that my hand will uphold you. You do not need to see the entire road ahead. It is enough to know that I walk with you. You do not need to explain every reason why, for I am the one who holds every why and turns them into for your good. Remain in me, and I will lead you. Do not chase after the loud voices of the world, for they will leave you exhausted. Do not let weariness push you out of my embrace. Stay in the quiet, in the promise, in love, and you will find direction for your soul. To remain does not mean to stand still, but to walk each day in my presence, allowing me to be your compass, your guiding light, the gentle whisper reminding you in the moments of choice. You do not need to find every answer on your own, nor do you need to carry the burden of proving yourself to others. Let me be your wisdom. When you are confused, I will bring clarity. When you are uncertain, I will give direction. When you stand at a crossroads, I will show you the next step. My wisdom is not merely knowledge, but deep understanding, far beyond human reasoning. Let me also be your peace. Peace is not when the storm ceases, but when you know you are safe in my arms, even as the storm rages on. The peace I give is not like the world's. It does not come from controlling everything, but from trusting that I am in control. This peace will guard your heart and mind, enabling you to stand firm in the midst of trials. And when darkness falls, when faith is tested, when you feel as though you are standing alone in a barren wilderness, I will be your song in the night, a gentle song to remind you that you are not lost, a song to lift your soul when you no longer have strength to pray, a song to bring light within so you may know the sun will rise again in the morning. My child, let me be all that you need: wisdom to guide you, peace to steady you, and a song to sustain you. Let me whisper daily into your ear, you are mine, and I will never leave you. Let me fill the empty spaces you have never dared to name. Let me replace sighs with new laughter, tears with gratitude, and despair with unshakable hope. My child, this journey does not require you to be perfect. It requires you to remain in me. As long as you keep the connection, you will see that every step you take, even the trembling ones, is covered by my faithfulness. And when you look back, you will see that at every moment I was with you, every day I upheld you, and every season of your life carries the imprint of my footsteps. My beloved, I understand the battles no one else knows about, the ones you face each day. Others may only see the calm surface you present, but I see the waves crashing within you, the unrelenting struggles in your mind and heart. I know that sometimes just waking up, taking a deep breath, and stepping out to face life is already a victory. I know the strength it takes for you not to collapse, to keep going even through days that feel cloaked in darkness. You think you are small, but the very fact that you are still standing, still persevering, is powerful evidence of the strength I have placed within you. I see you holding on to faith even when that faith is tested to its very limits. I see you choosing kindness over bitterness, even when your heart aches unbearably. I see you choosing silence instead of responding in anger, choosing forgiveness instead of clinging to resentment. You are never invisible before me. The world may not notice, may not praise, may not even know of your quiet choices, but I see them all. I record them all. Every act of faith, no matter how small, carries eternal worth. My child, sometimes you think the little things you do are not enough to make a difference. But I want you to know that in my kingdom nothing is ever too small to be forgotten. A smile of encouragement you offer to the weary, a whispered prayer for someone who never knows you, prayed a moment of patience chosen in the midst of anger, all of these resound in heaven. Just like a tiny seed falling into the soil, hidden as it begins to sprout, then one day growing into a towering tree, so it is with your acts of faith. I know there are times you ask yourself, do the things I do really matter? Does anyone see? Does it mean anything at all? My answer to you is yes. Every single thing matters. Every single thing is recorded. Every single thing contributes to the greater masterpiece I am weaving. Not a single tear of yours is meaningless. Not a single prayer you utter falls to the ground unheard. Not a single effort, even if it is only the struggle to rise again after a long day, is wasted in my eyes. You do not need to be great in the eyes of the world for me to treasure you. You do not need glorious victories for me to praise you. It is your daily faithfulness, your steadfast perseverance, and the quiet steps you continue to take forward. These are the true victories. You are not alone in those silent battles. I am beside you, strengthening you each day, reminding you that your worth does not come from how much you can accomplish, but from whom you belong to. My child, remember that. My eyes never leave you. I see you when you sit quietly in your small room wrestling with thoughts that tempt you to give up. I see you when you whisper to yourself, just one more day and I will be okay. I see you when you pour out the last of your strength just to offer someone a smile, even though inside you are breaking apart. All of these I know. You are not forgotten. I want you to know that I value even the smallest acts that flow from faith. When you stretch out your hand to help the weak, when you choose to speak kindness instead of harshness, when you keep on praying even though no answer seems to come, all of these are precious jewels in my sight. They shine brighter than any gem the world could ever offer, because they are woven with faithfulness, with love, and with trust in me. My beloved child, do not diminish your own worth. You are not invisible. You are not meaningless. You are not abandoned in the currents of life. You are mine, and I have seen all the efforts you have struggled to hold on to. I have seen you fight in silence. I have seen you choose light even when darkness pressed in around you, and I rejoice because of this. So my child, continue to walk on, even if it is only one small step at a time. Continue to believe even if only a fragile thread of hope remains. Continue to love even when your heart still carries wounds. For in my eyes, nothing of these is wasted. All of them are contributing to the story of victory, the story of grace, the story of everlasting faithfulness, and that story itself is proof that you have never been and will never be unseen before me. My beloved, when you stumble, I have never looked at you with condemning eyes. I do not stand far away to criticize or judge you as the world often does. Instead, I draw near, bend down, and extend my hand to you. With all gentleness and patience, I lift you up from where you have fallen, brush the dust off your garment, and whisper into your ear that you still carry immeasurable worth in my eyes. Those stains do not define you. A stumble does not erase my love. Failure does not diminish the dignity I placed within you before the foundation of time. My child, you were never expected to be perfect. I did not create you so that you would strain under the weight of every pressure, nor did I call you to chase after an impossible ideal. I know there will be moments when you are weak, when you are weary, when you lose your way, yet I do not look at those things in order to cast you aside. What I long to see in you is a heart that knows how to return, that keeps walking after me, even with trembling steps, that trusts in me, even when you cannot fully understand the path ahead. My child, what I desire from you is not perfection, but faithfulness. I have not called you to be someone who never errs, but someone who dares to rise after every fall. I do not seek from you glorious victories to boast of, but I treasure every quiet act of obedience you choose in secret. I do not demand that you always be strong, but I delight when you choose to trust me in your weakness. And that is why I give grace for every time you stumble. Grace is not indulgence toward sin, but the bridge that brings you from failure back into forgiveness. Grace is my hand that never withdraws, no matter how many times you have fallen. Grace is the new breath I place within you when you think all hope has run dry. The number of times you fall is not as important as whether you will dare to place your hand in my grace and rise once more. I also give strength for every trial you face. That strength is not always a mighty wind that shatters every obstacle. Sometimes it is the gentle perseverance that keeps you standing one day at a time. That strength is not always a miracle that makes difficulties vanish, but the power that enables you to walk through hardship without being crushed. I know there are days when you want to give up, yet then a new life stirs within you, and that is me pouring my strength into you. My child, in the midst of sorrows, I grant you joy. This joy is not the shallowness of a forced smile, but a deep peace flowing from within, even when storms rage without. It is the assurance that all things rest in my hands. It is a small flame, yet enough to keep your heart from going out. It is the gentle song that rises in the night, reminding you that the sun will indeed rise in the morning. My child, I want you to understand that on this journey you never walk alone. From the moment you took your very first step, I have walked beside you. When you rejoiced, I rejoiced with you. When you wept, I shared your sorrow. When you were lost, I sought you and brought you back. When you were weak, I lifted you up. When you cried, I wiped away your tears. There has not been a single moment in your life when my eyes were turned away from you. You may forget me, but I will never forget you. You may doubt me, but I will never stop believing in you. You may run from me, yet I will follow you still. You may remain silent, but I will keep speaking in countless ways, through the whisper of the wind, through the rising sun, through the embrace of a friend, or through the gentle stillness within your soul. My beloved child, do not be afraid of falling, for every fall is an opportunity to experience my love more deeply. Do not be afraid of weakness, for in your weakness my power is revealed. Do not be afraid of tears, for tears are the river that carries you closer to my heart. And do not be afraid of loneliness, for I am always there walking with you step by step. Therefore keep moving forward. Do not let failure keep you buried in the dust. Do not let shame imprison you in the shadows. Rise up, take my hand, and walk on. I do not ask you to walk quickly. I only ask that you do not stop. I do not demand that you understand everything. I only desire that you trust. I do not require you to bear every burden alone. I only ask that you let me carry them for you. My dear one, let these words be the anchor of your heart. I will never condemn you. I came to save, to heal, to lift you up. I have begun a good work within you, and I will bring it to completion. All you need is to cling to me step by step, day by day, and you will see that every stumble becomes a stepping stone to rise stronger, draw nearer, and shine brighter in the plan I have prepared for you. Beloved child, I want you to understand this. Clearly, the battle you are facing is not merely fleeting thoughts in your mind or passing sadness in your emotions. It is not only the weariness of your body or the unrest of your soul. You are standing in the midst of a far greater war, a battle of the spirit where light and darkness, truth and falsehood collide for the sake of your heart. When your soul trembles without reason, when your mind is in turmoil, when despair sweeps over you like a sudden storm, it is not simply human weakness. It is the reality of war, the fierce and unseen clash in the spiritual realm. Yes, the enemy of the soul is real. It does not sleep, it does not grow weary, but it is always lurking. It watches every step you take, waiting for those fragile moments, those times when your faith trembles to whisper lies into your ears. It tells you that you are worthless, that you are abandoned, that you have no future. It twists the truth, making you doubt the very worth I have placed within you. It spreads fear, convincing you that you are defeated before you even begin to fight. It tries to make you gaze into the darkness and forget the light I am kindling within you. My child, do not be surprised when you feel your heart at war with your mind, when fear rises up within you while reason clings desperately to truth. Do not think you are broken or mad. This is the sign that you are on the battlefield. But remember this, the enemy may roar, but it does not hold ultimate power. It may deceive, but it cannot erase the truth I have spoken. It may sow fear, but it cannot touch your soul when you stand in me. Beloved one, the enemy wants you to believe it is stronger than you. But the truth is, it trembles before the one who lives in you. It wants you to believe you are forsaken, yet the truth is, I have never left your side. It wants you to believe you are bound, but the truth is, I came to shatter chains and give you freedom. Every lie it whispers is only a distorted reflection of the truth I have declared. You do not need to argue with it. You need only to stand firm in my word, for my word is the sharp sword that severs every chain. Remember that this battle is not meant to crush you, but to make you stronger. I allow you to face the enemy, not so that it may devour you, but so that you may encounter my power more deeply. It is in your weakness that my strength is revealed. It is when the darkness surrounds you that my light shines most brightly. It is in the very moment you think you cannot stand that you will find me carrying you, upholding you, and giving you the strength to go on. My child, clothe yourself with the armor of the Spirit. Wear the helmet of salvation to guard your mind against lies. Put on the breastplate of righteousness to protect your heart from accusation and shame. Take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, to cut through every deception. Lift up the shield of faith, for every flaming arrow of the enemy is extinguished when it strikes against your trust in me. And above all, pray without ceasing, for prayer is the breath that steadies your soul in every circumstance. You are not alone in this battle. I am the commander who goes before you, the fortress that surrounds you, the flame that lights your path in the night. My angels encamp around those who fear me. You do not fight alone. The entire army of heaven stands beside you. When you feel too small, remember that it is my very presence within you that makes the enemy tremble. When you feel weak, know that my power is made perfect in that weakness. My child, do not let the surge of emotions deceive you into thinking this battle has already ended in defeat. The struggle may be fierce, tears may flow, and your soul may grow weary, but the final chapter of this story is always victory, because I am the one who has overcome. The cross is the proof that evil does not have the last word. The empty tomb is the evidence that death cannot imprison life. And my presence within you is the guarantee that you will never be defeated. Beloved child, when despair rises, remember it does not come from me. When fear grips you, recall that I have given you a spirit of power, of love, and of sound mind. When darkness surrounds you, know that I am the light that never goes out. And when the enemy whispers lies, stand firm and answer with the truth. I belong to the Lord God, and nothing can snatch me from his hand. Rise up, my child. Do not fear the shadows. Do not let the turmoil within cause you to doubt my love. This battle is not meant to destroy you, but to refine you, to teach you to lean on me, to help you recognize that I alone am your strength and your victory. Remember, you are not defined by storms of emotion, nor are you bound by deceitful words. You are defined by my everlasting love, protected by my power, and called to triumph in my name. So then walk forward, not with trembling hands of fear, but with hands firmly held in mine, the one who has overcome the world. For when I am with you, no power, whether of darkness or deceit, can prevail against you. And the battle you face today is the very path through which my glory will be revealed ever more clearly in your life. My beloved child, I want you to grasp this truth. The enemy has no authority beyond what I have allowed, and its true power has long been stripped away by me. It cannot create, for only I am the creator. It can only distort, corrupt, and ruin what was meant to be good. It cannot bring forth life, but only sows desolation. It cannot proclaim truth, but only mingles lies with truth to confuse you. Therefore, my child, do not tremble when it roars, for its roar is nothing more than an empty echo of one who has already been defeated. It takes the blessings I have fashioned for you and twists them into burdens. It sees emotions, the gift I gave so you could connect with me, love others, and fully experience life, and it distorts them, entangles them, turning what was meant as a gift into a weight that oppresses your soul. It whispers to you that what you feel is the ultimate truth. It wants you to believe that if you feel worthless, then you truly are worthless. If you feel abandoned, then you truly are forsaken. If you feel darkness pressing in, then light is truly gone. My child, that is a subtle deception. Emotions are never the foundation of truth. They are part of your humanity, a reflection of the soul's vitality, but they are not the compass that guides your steps. They are like the waves upon the sea, sometimes fierce, sometimes gentle, sometimes rising suddenly only to fade again. But truth is the solid rock that never changes, and I, myself, am the truth. Emotions may shift and waver, but my word stands firm forever. So look closely at this. My child, your emotions are not wrong, for I have given them to you. Yet they become dangerous when you allow them to define your worth or determine your path. The enemy wants you to live at the mercy of fleeting feelings, so that one moment you are filled with hope and the next you sink into despair. One moment you know you are loved and the next you believe you are useless. But I desire for you to build your life upon a foundation far more secure, upon my word, upon unchanging truth, upon my eternal love. When you find your heart sinking into fear, do not be quick to believe that you are truly in danger. Look to me, the one who shelters you. When you feel lonely, do not rush to conclude that you have truly been abandoned. Remember that I have promised never to leave you. When you feel weighed down with guilt and shame, do not believe too quickly that you are worthless. Look to the cross where my son died to prove how precious you are. Feelings may lie, but I never lie. My child, learn to discern which emotions come from me and which have been twisted by the enemy, emotions that draw you closer to me, encourage you to love and move you to trust. These bear my mark. But the emotions that push you away from me, cause you to doubt my love and drown you in shame and fear, those are the traces of the enemy. Do not let yourself be swept away by such turmoil. Instead, use my word as the measure of all things. Emotions can be like the weather, stormy today but clear and bright tomorrow. Yet the truth is like a mountain range, standing firm and unmoved by wind or rain. I am the solid rock where you can set your feet without fear of collapse. When your soul feels like a rushing torrent, anchor yourself in my word, and you will find peace again. My child, the enemy can only take what I have given and corrupt it. But I want you to remember that My power is greater than every distortion. If the enemy can turn emotions into weapons, then I can turn those very emotions into instruments to draw you closer to me. I use your tears to cleanse your soul. I use your pain to teach you compassion. I use your joy to bless others. The enemy seeks to make emotions chains of bondage, but I use them as instruments for the song of life. Beloved, do not be afraid when you find yourself feeling too deeply or when emotions overflow beyond your control. Do not think yourself broken simply because you feel weak. I know your heart fully. I understand every emotion you experience. I see the storms within you that no one else perceives. And I do not cast you away because of these things. On the contrary, I invite you to bring everything to me, your joys, your sorrows, your fears, your anger, even your deepest confusion. Let me take them, heal them, and transform them. My child, stand firm in this truth. Emotions are a part of being human, but they are not the final definition of who you are. They have no authority to judge your identity. I am the one who defines you. And I call you, my child, loved, redeemed, and set free. So whenever the storm of emotions rises, remember that they are only waves. Waves may swell high, they may roar fiercely, but they can never erase the deep ocean beneath. That ocean is my love and my truth, unchanging, unending. Anchor your soul in that ocean, and you will not be swept away. Beloved child, do not let the enemy deceive you into believing that emotions are everything. They matter, but they are not the foundation. Truth is the foundation. And truth is me, the one who has always loved you, who protects you, and who leads you through every storm. When you learn to stand upon truth, emotions will no longer be chains, but wings lifting you into the freedom I have given. My dear one, now I must call you to step out from where you are, not because I am angry or because I seek to punish, but because my love for you is too great to allow me to stand still while you remain trapped in that dark place. I will never be content watching you live in misery that I never destined for you. My heart compels me to call you out of the land of lies, of self-destruction, and to bring you back to the sacred purpose for which you were made. I call you because you belong to me, and within you I have planted a good plan from the very beginning. Remember this, my child, I am the one who shaped you with my own hands. Every detail of your body was not random, but woven together by my wisdom and precise design. Every cell, every vein, every heartbeat was arranged by me with clear intention. Nothing within you is unnecessary. Your very existence on this earth is no accident. Even the breath that rises and falls in your chest carries purpose, that you may live, that you may love, that you may worship, and that you may reflect my glory in this world. Yet, my child, this perfect design cannot run on its own unless you learn the art of stewardship. This body is not merely for existence, nor is it meant to be turned into an idol for worship. It has been entrusted to you as a gift, one to be cared for, nourished, exercised, and given rest at the proper time. When you neglect it, when you abuse it, when you allow distorted emotions and misguided habits to rule, this body becomes a burden rather than the instrument for the mission I have entrusted to you. My child, I call you to step into a new way of living, a life where body, mind, and soul are brought into harmony under my guidance. You do not need to chase the twisted standards imposed by the world. You do not need to torment your body in order to prove your worth, nor do you need to indulge it until it spirals out of control. You only need to see this body as a vessel given so you may serve a higher purpose. And to do that, you must learn stewardship, knowing when to pause, when to move forward, when to replenish, and when to let go. Nourish the body with what is wholesome, for it is the temple where my spirit dwells. Do not defile it with things that drain you and draw you away from me. Let the body move, for in movement you experience more vividly the life I have woven into every muscle and every breath. Yet do not forget, rest for rest is the proof that you trust in me, that it is not by your own strength that the work is fulfilled, but by my faithfulness. My dear child, so often you think that caring for the body is secondary, that it has little to do with the spiritual journey. But I tell you truly, body, mind, and soul are woven into one whole. When you disregard one, all three are affected. You cannot live a lasting spiritual life if your body is exhausted. You cannot keep a clear mind if you neglect your health. I call you to stewardship not because I am harsh, but because I love you and desire for you to be strong so you may complete the path I have prepared for you. My child, when you learn to care for your body, you are expressing gratitude to me, the one who created it. When you practice moderation in eating and drinking, you are saying, Father, I cherish the gift you have given. When you pause to rest, you are saying, I trust that you are in control, not I. When you discipline yourself and preserve your strength, you are saying, I want to offer the best of myself to serve you. And when you do all these things, you are not only caring for your body, but also building a firm foundation upon which your soul can rise higher in the calling I have entrusted to you. My child, I do not come to force you, but to encourage you. I do not point out your shortcomings to shame you, but to lift you up and bring you into wholeness. I know there were times when you disregarded your body, times when you misused it, times when you drove it to exhaustion. Yet I tell you this today, you can begin anew. It is never too late to live under a new stewardship. It is never too late to turn this body into an instrument of glory for me. Therefore, my child, step away from the lies the enemy has sown that you can neglect this body or that you must worship it to find worth. The truth is this: your value does not rest in outward appearance, nor in the fleeting pleasures of the flesh. Your value is found in my love for you and in the calling I have placed upon your life. This body is merely an instrument through which you can reveal that love to the world. Use it rightly, steward it wisely, and you will discover abundant life flowing through your soul, your mind, and your body. My child, listen to my voice. Let my words penetrate every part of you. Learn to live with moderation, gratitude, and wisdom. See this body not as a burden, but as a gift. Live in such a way that every breath you take, every step you walk, every act you perform becomes a song of praise to the one who created you. And when you live like this, your entire life will become a symphony of gratitude and worship echoing into eternity. Beloved child, rise up. Do not let lies bind you any longer. Step out of the old and into new freedom. Begin to steward your body with thanksgiving and wisdom. And as you do, you will see me grant you new strength, new peace, new joy. For I did not create you merely to exist. I created you to live, to love, to worship, and to shine in the eternal glory that is mine. My beloved child, I know you are weary. It is not only the weariness of the body that can be eased after a long sleep, but a deep exhaustion of the soul where dreams fade into shadows, where the passion that once blazed brightly has now become only ashes, where laughter of days gone by has been buried beneath the weight of countless worries. I see your eyes grow hollow each morning as you rise. I see your shoulders bowed under burdens without a name. I see your steps dragging through the days not with the joy of living, but merely out of habit. You think you are living, yet in truth you are only existing. But my child, I did not create you merely to exist. I breathed my very breath of life into you so that you might truly know what it means to live a life radiant, abundant, fulfilled, and full of meaning. I did not fashion you simply to shuffle through your days until the end, but to be a witness of love, to reflect the light, to shine brightly in the midst of a world slowly fading. I know there are times when you tell yourself, if I can just survive today, that will be enough. Yet I tell you truly, to merely exist is never enough. I did not shape you to be a silent shadow. I created you to be a lamp set on high, to be the salt of the earth, to be a river flowing with life. If you only exist, you are missing the sacred purpose of creation. I did not intend for you to live a withered life, but a life that buds, blossoms, and overflows with fruit. My child, the fullness I have promised does not come passively. It does not appear simply because you sit and wait. It requires a choice. You must choose to rise instead of lying down. You must choose light instead of darkness. You must choose faith instead of fear. You must choose love instead of bitterness. You must choose to truly live instead of merely existing. I will give you strength to choose, but that decision, my child, must come from within your heart. I know there have been times when you no longer felt truly alive. The things that once stirred your excitement no longer bring you joy. The hope that once burned brightly like a flame is now only a faint flicker. But I remind you that the fire has never gone out. It is only buried. And I, yes I, myself will breathe new wind upon it so that it blazes again if only you are willing to let me. My child, do not think that abundant life is far away. It is within your reach when you choose to place yourself in me. When you return to me, every cell within you will come alive. Every drop of blood will be stirred and every heartbeat will throb with new life. The joy long buried will gradually awaken. The light you thought had gone out will shine brightly once more. For true life does not lie in monotonous routines, but in connection with me, the inexhaustible source of life. My child, remember, I created you to shine. A lamp cannot be placed under a basket. It must be set on high to illuminate the whole room. And so it is with you. You were not born to hide in the shadows of weariness, fear, or emptiness. You were created to shine for those around you, to become living proof that my love can transform a weary life into one that radiates with brilliance. I also created you to live abundantly. Abundance does not mean you will never face trials, but it does mean that in the midst of trials, you will find a peace no one can take away. It means that even in loss, you will still hold a steadfast hope. It means that even when you are poured out completely, there will still flow within you a stream of living water, because its source is in me, the source that never runs dry. And my child, I created you to live in fullness. Fullness is not having everything you want, but finding contentment in me, knowing that I am enough. Fullness is when you can look in the mirror and see someone imperfect, yet unconditionally loved. Fullness is when you can walk without striving to prove yourself to the world, because you already know to whom you belong. Fullness is when you can stretch out your arms to love even when your heart still carries scars, because you know that I loved you first. My child, you may think your strength is gone, that your joy has faded, that the light within you has dimmed. But I tell you the truth, you can live again, shine again, blaze again. I am the one who gives power to the weary, who renews the strength of the exhausted. I am the one who gives you a reason to smile when nothing seems worth smiling for, who gives you wings to soar when your feet can no longer move, who gives you a new song when your throat is choked with tears. My child, I did not create you merely to exist. I created you to live with strength, to love deeply, to trust firmly, and to walk with unending hope. But all of that begins with one action choice. Choose to live. Choose to rise. Choose to believe. Choose me. And when you choose me, you will find a new life, not just breath after breath, but a life overflowing with light, peace, and abundant joy. Beloved child, today I stand before you and invite you, step out of weary existence and step into the abundant life I have prepared. Give me your burdens and receive freedom. Lay down your weariness and take up new strength. Let me breathe into you a fresh breath of life, and you will truly live. Live as one who is created to shine, to overflow, and to dwell in eternal fullness. Beloved child, when you neglect the care of your body, you are forfeiting an essential part of the wisdom I entrusted to you. Your body is like a finely tuned instrument with every detail carefully designed by me to function in harmony. But when you cease to value and nurture it, the order I established within begins to break down. What you often call just pushing through another day is in truth the silent evidence of decline creeping through you. You call it resilience, but in reality it has become an excuse to abandon yourself, driving your body toward the edge of ruin without you even realizing it. I have seen you many times telling yourself, just a little more, just endure one more day. You think that is strength. But my child, true strength is not to push yourself to the point of exhaustion until no breath remains. True strength is knowing when to stop, when to rest in me, when to honor the boundaries I have set for your body. When you constantly go beyond those limits, when you ignore the cries for help that rise from within yourself, it is no longer patience or courage, it is self-destruction of what I lovingly wove together. My child, your body is not your enemy, nor is it a burden you must endure. It is a gift, a vessel for your soul to walk in this world, an instrument through which you may live out the calling I have entrusted to you. But if you continue to neglect it, denying it rest, nourishment, and care, it will be like a forgotten instrument whose strings grow slack, its sound no longer resonant, until at last there remains only a dull, broken noise instead of a song of praise. What I desire for you, my child, is not a perfect body according to the standards of the world, but a body strong enough to reflect my life within you. When the order I placed in you is broken, your mind becomes restless, your emotions unstable, and joy is overshadowed by weariness. When the body is weak, the spirit loses clarity. You become more prone to believe the enemy's lies, to surrender more easily to temptation, and to lose your sense of direction. That is why I call you to see the stewardship of your body as part of your spiritual faithfulness. My beloved, stop and listen. Hear the quiet cries of your body, eyes weary from lack of rest, hands trembling from overwork, a heart weighed down by stress, and a soul drained of joy. Do not ignore these signs. Do not assume that it will be fine. I place those warnings within you not to trouble you, but to guard you from collapse. I want you to learn the way of stewardship, of balance between work and rest, between giving and receiving, between caring for others and caring for yourself. For you cannot love fully when you are emptied out. You cannot stand firm in your mission when your feet have grown weak. You cannot hear my voice clearly when your mind is weary and your heart is heavy. Stewardship of the body is not selfishness. It is an act of worship, for you are preserving the temple where my spirit dwells. My child, I have not called you into a life of endless weariness, but into a life brimming with vitality and joy. The abundance I have promised does not come from wastefulness nor from driving yourself to exhaustion. It springs from the wisdom of stewardship, of giving, of managing well, and of resting. I desire you to live like a flourishing garden, tended and watered, blossoming with beauty. Do not allow yourself to become a barren field simply because you think enduring a little more won't hurt. My beloved, I am calling you out of that weary existence. I am inviting you into a new way of living where the body is cared for, the mind is renewed, and the soul is nourished. Do not wait until it is too late, when decline has already taken hold. Begin today. Learn to rest in me. Learn moderation in eating and living. Learn to say no to what drains you, and learn to prioritize the life I give. My child, I see the potential within you, not the potential of a body chasing outward beauty, but the potential of a whole person, strong from within, able to complete the journey I have entrusted to you. Yet to reach that place, you must choose to choose stewardship instead of neglect, life instead of decay, and strength that flows from me rather than from your own limited power. Remember this, my dear one, I love you too much to stand by and watch you destroy yourself. I call you to rise up, to realign, to care for yourself, for you are worthy of living abundantly. I did not create you for endless exhaustion, but for radiance. And when you walk in true stewardship, you will find not only your body restored, but your soul and mind renewed, so that your life itself becomes a living testimony that I am the giver of life in its fullness. My beloved child, when your mind is overwhelmed with turmoil, when your thoughts race like whirlwinds and leave your heart unsettled, I invite you to sit beside me. Be still, breathe in my presence, and let my spirit calm the storm within. You do not need to strain to put everything back in order by yourself, nor must you try to drive away fear with your own strength. Allow me to do that for you. I am the one who can silence the waves not only on the sea, but also within your soul. My child, do not think that temptation comes only to you alone. No trial has come upon you except what humanity has already faced. But I want you to remember that I am faithful. I know how much you can bear, and I will never allow temptation to exceed your strength. Each time you face enticing invitations, each time your weakness is exploited, I have already prepared a way out so that you may stand firm. You are never abandoned in the grip of temptation. This is my promise, the lifeline I extend to you in the midst of stormy seas. When temptation comes, my child, do not toy with it. Do not harbor it. Do not compromise. Do not attempt to bargain with it. For even the smallest concession can open the door for darkness to slip in. The enemy cannot drag you into ruin unless you give your consent. It can only whisper, entice, and twist the truth in order to lure you. The choice always remains in your hands. But remember this, you are not limited to choosing sin. You also have the power to choose life, to choose righteousness, to choose obedience. And when you choose rightly, I will give you the strength to hold fast to that decision. My child, I know there are times when temptation feels so sweet that you believe you can taste it and still keep your heart pure. But that is the most dangerous trap. Do not foolishly bargain with darkness. Do not tell yourself, just this once. For one time can open the path to long captivity. Instead, when temptation comes, speak out with truth. Recall my words, wield my promises as your weapon. My word is like a sharp sword, able to cut through every chain, scatter every lie, and open the way of light. My child, when your eyes are drawn to things that do not belong to me, turn away from them at once. Lift your gaze back to me, for my light is strong enough to drive away the darkness. Do not keep staring at temptation, for the more you gaze upon it, the weaker you will become. Look to me instead, for the more you fix your eyes on me, the stronger you will be. Strength does not come from your striving to endure, but from centering your heart upon me. Beloved child, remember that temptation has no absolute power. It is only strong when you nurture it within your heart. If you refuse it, if you turn your back with finality, it will lose its weight. The enemy cannot force you to fall. It can only whisper until you begin to believe the lie. But if you believe the truth, you will stand firm. If you choose me, instead of choosing the darkness, the victory will be yours. I call you not to live as a victim of temptation, but as a warrior fully equipped with spiritual armor. You can take up the shield of faith to extinguish every flaming arrow of the enemy. You can wear the helmet of salvation to guard your mind from deceitful thoughts. You can put on the shoes of readiness to proclaim the gospel of peace and walk in steadfast calm. And above all, you can wield the sword of the Spirit, my word, to break the invisible chains that seek to bind you. My child, when you feel too weak to resist, do not forget that I am still with you. I do not abandon you alone on the battlefield. I am the one who has already overcome sin, and in me you too may overcome. I shattered the power of darkness on the cross, and you do not need to live as a defeated one. You have been set free, you have been redeemed, and you have been called out of darkness to walk in marvelous light. My beloved, never take lightly the choices you make each day. Every time you choose truth instead of lies, you are building strength in your soul. Every time you choose life instead of death, you are walking toward the fullness I have promised. Every time you choose obedience instead of rebellion, heaven rejoices and darkness trembles. Do not think these choices are small. They are the very foundation that shapes your destiny. So then, my child, when temptation comes, pause and remember you are not alone. You are not powerless. You are not bound. You have the right to choose, and I have set before you the way of life. Choose it. Choose me. Choose to walk in the light, for when you choose me, you choose freedom, peace, and joy that no one can take away from you. My beloved child, be strong and steadfast. I am faithful. I will give you the strength to stand firm against every trial, to overcome every temptation, to live a righteous life. And as you choose me each day, you will see not only victory in a moment, but a life renewed, radiant, and overflowing in my glory. My dear child, do not be surprised and do not lose heart when you see the spiritual battles grow more fierce as you draw closer to me. That is not proof that you are growing weaker, nor is it a condemnation that you are not strong enough. On the contrary, it is the very evidence that you are walking in the right direction. The closer you move toward the light, the more darkness struggles to pull you back. The deeper you press into the truth, the more the enemy strives to whisper lies into your ears. The freer you walk, the more it seeks to bind you once again. But my child, rejoice, for this very intensity of opposition is the sign that you are becoming a true threat to the kingdom of darkness. If you were harmless, if your life never touched the truth, if you were not a light shining for others, then the enemy would not bother with you. It only resists what it fears. It only attacks where the light threatens to break its power. and the truth is you carry within you that light. You are not the source of it, but my Spirit living in you has made you into a lamp in the night. And darkness by its very nature hates the light. It cannot bear your presence when you stand in me. That is why you have become a target, but that very fact proves that you are on the right path. My child, I have placed power within you, not power from your own strength, not from your own will, but from my Spirit who dwells in you. This is not a vague presence, but a living power. It is my Spirit who gives you courage when you tremble, who gives you prayer when your words run dry, who gives you faith when all you see is darkness pressing in. The enemy wants you to believe that you are weak, helpless, and defenseless. But the truth is, the moment you call upon my name, the moment you hold fast to my word, that strength will flow through you, and the darkness will not endure. My beloved, I call you to put on the full armor of God, not as a one-time gesture, but every day, every moment. This is not armor to be donned only in times of battle, but a covering you must live with, breathe with, and walk with. Each morning as you rise, gird yourself with the belt of truth, for deceit is the enemy's first weapon. Put on the breastplate of righteousness, for accusation and shame will always try to pierce your heart. Wear the shoes of readiness to proclaim the good news, so that you may walk steady and not stumble on rough ground. Also raise high the shield of faith, for each day fiery arrows will come, words of criticism, rejection, unseen fears. Yet the shield of faith will extinguish them all. Do not forget the helmet of salvation to guard your mind against lies and to keep you secure in the certainty that you belong to me. And finally, take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. No word is stronger, no weapon sharper. My word alone separates truth from falsehood, breaks chains, and drives back the darkness. My beloved child, understand this. This battle is not meant for your defeat, but for your growth. It has not come to crush you, but to forge you into a strong warrior. It is not punishment, but training, so that you may know that true strength does not come from yourself, but from me. Remember, a tree only drives its roots deeper when it faces the storm. A gemstone only shines with beauty after it has been refined. And a spiritual warrior only becomes steadfast through battle. Therefore, do not tremble when you see the darkness growing around you. Do not be shaken when you feel the pressure increasing. That is not a sign that I have abandoned you, but proof that I am leading you forward. Let courage be born within you. Let your faith grow stronger day by day. And let the light within you shine not only upon the path you walk, but also for those who are groping in the darkness around you. My child, the enemy may seek to make you stumble, but it cannot strip away your name. You are still my child. You are still covered in unchanging love. You are still kept safe in my hands. It may wear you down, but it cannot make you fail. It may cause you to fall, but I will always lift you up. It may make you weep, but I will wipe away your tears. And through it all you will rise stronger, brighter, and more steadfast. Beloved ones, stand firm. Put on the whole armor, not as a duty, but as your very breath. Remember that this battle has already been destined for your victory, not by your own strength, but because I, the one who lives in you, have already overcome the world. And when you persevere and stand your ground, all of heaven will rejoice, because the light within you not only guides your steps, but also opens the way of hope for those who long to find true life. My beloved child, now that you have heard all my words, keep them engraved in your heart. You were not created merely to exist, but to live abundantly, powerfully, and fully. I have called you out of darkness, given you light, placed within you the power of the Spirit, and clothed you with spiritual armor. Every battle, every storm, every fall is not meant to destroy you, but to shape you, to refine you, to draw you closer to me. You are not alone. You have never been forsaken. And you are not meant to walk this journey in your own strength. So then draw near to me in prayer. Let prayer become your very breath, the lifeline between your heart and the heavens above. When you pray, darkness trembles. When you pray, heaven moves. When you pray, you place your hand into mine, and I will hold it to lead you on. Now I invite you to lift your voice, to open your heart, and to step into the depths of my presence through the following prayers. O Lord God, my fortress and my rock, today I come before you in weakness and trembling. I know that I cannot withstand the spiritual battles by my own strength. Clothe me, I pray, with the armor of heaven that I may stand firm against the flaming arrows of the enemy. Grant me unwavering faith, a pure heart, and a mind guarded by salvation. I vow not to fight alone, but always in the power of your Spirit. Gracious Father, I confess that too often I have merely survived rather than truly lived. My body is weary, my mind is unsettled, and my soul feels drained. Teach me, Lord, to rest in you, that your breath may revive my strength and your love restore my heart. Help me to steward my body with wisdom, to nourish it, to move it, to listen to it, and to know when to pause. Grant me the abundant life you have promised, that I may not merely exist, but shine with the radiance of your glory. Righteous Lord, you know the silent battles within my mind. You see the temptations that knock at my door each day. I confess that at times I am weak, at times I falter. Remind me, O God, that no temptation is beyond what I can bear, and that in every trial you always provide a way of escape. Give me eyes to recognize that way, and feet strong enough to walk away from the shadows. Let me never forget that the power of choice rests in my hands, to choose life, to choose light, to choose you. God of healing, I bring before you the wounds I have tried to conceal, the pains I have not dared to share with anyone. Touch, I pray, the innermost places where I feel broken. Break the chains of shame and guilt. Turn ashes into beauty and tears into seeds of joy. Teach me to see myself through the eyes of your love, not through the accusations of the world. Lord, there are days when I feel like giving up, and there are moments when the darkness seems overwhelming. Yet I remember that you have placed within me a spirit not of fear, but of power, love, and sound mind. Grant me courage to keep walking forward even when each step trembles. Give me faithfulness so that I may never stray from you, even when I cannot yet see the results. Help me rise again after every fall, and continue to trust that you will bring to completion the good work you have begun in me. Holy Father, I offer my whole body, mind, and soul to you as a living sacrifice. May every breath I take, every step I walk, and every word I speak bring glory to your name. Let my body become a temple of the Holy Spirit, that nothing impure may dwell within it. Let my life become a song of praise, a living testimony that you are still moving, healing, and transforming. May all that I am, both weakness and strength, belong fully to you. I lift up this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong community of faith.